is located within a Tobo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like when we're no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is aired every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
Wow.
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation within our country, Liberia. Imagine hearing stories from Hot Pepper newspaper, from the Daily Observer newspaper, from Front Page Africa. Are you a lover of Front Page Africa?
Oh yes, I'm a lover of
Front Page Africa, and the Women Voices, and a lot more. Not forgetting international news, BBC,
wow.
CNN, ABC News. We bring you headlines from those standpoints.
Wow, that is very, very, very amazing.
So we say, join us every day on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media at 10 a.m. with the headlines of top stories in our country and the world at large on Focal Online TV.
What a pleasant way to welcome you. What a pleasant way to welcome you to today's edition of the program Inside the Print Media, where I am crocheting for Greg Fina coverage bar and that of K. Lyndon Tupper. So that is it. We're going to be reading you all of the papers here in our possession as it relates to trending issues within our country. That is the woman Fatu Gay Floor. Our own Fatu Gay Floor here. So we're going to be bringing you news from all of the newspapers we have in our possession. It's a pleasant way to welcome you to the December 27th, 2023 edition of the program inside the print media. All right. So this is how we go. Our first stop gonna be the Daily Observer newspaper. The Daily Observer newspaper. Tanker explosion. Over 14 fear dead in Bon County. Daily Observer is reporting tanker explosion. Over 14 fear dead in Bon County. So let's read you in-depth analysis of the Daily Observer newspaper that is in our possession. A tanker blast has reportedly left over 14 people dead in Tototown, Lower Bon County. The tragic incident occurred during the late evening hours of Tuesday, December 26th, as the tanker carrying a gasoline labeled God's Willing overturned near the upper room church and caused fire. Eyewitnesses state that some people from the community were attempting to collect the spilled gasoline when the explosion took place, resulting in severe injuries and fatalities. When the tanker fell, many came from all over the town. Some were only looking for. Another eyewitness says some of the community members could not escape the fire because they had already come in physical contact with the gasoline. The fire ran behind plenty of people because the gasoline was on them. I cannot see many people surviving, but if some do, they will suffer severe burns, he said. Bon County still on the Daily Observer newspaper relating to the tanker that exploded. Bon County Health Officer Dr. Cynthia Blackwell has confirmed that there are critical ill patients, including children and a pregnant woman receiving care. Medical professions are doing everything possible to save the lives of the victims. Blackwell told the Daily Observer newspaper. Police sources in Bon County also disclosed late Tuesday night that about 80 victims were rushed to the Phoebe Hospital, one of whom died upon arrival at Phoebe. Two were in very critical condition and transferred to Ganta, Nimba County, and 18 others were brought to JFK in Monrovia for further treatment. So that is it right there for the daily. So that is it right there. That is it right there for the Daily Observer newspaper. Another story on the Daily Observer newspaper says President we are issues late pardon in office. President we are issues late pardon in office as Samka benefits. President George Manuel has issued the final batch of pardon to the group that includes former Defense Minister Brandon Samuka, who, along with two deputies, was convicted of embezzling US 1.3 million that members of the armed forces of Liberia have saved for their pensions. As part of their conviction, Samuka, along with deputies John Johnson and James Nima Doppel, were ordered in prison for a 2-year term after failing to restitute at least US 1.1 million of the embezzled money. However, when Samuka and his deputies failed to pay US 5,300, when Samuka fails to pay US 537,822.5, comprising of 50% of the total amount within 6 months, as ordered by the Supreme Court. The president stepped in to grant the former Minister of Defense, and executive clemency, suspending his 2-year jail sentence while requesting him to work with the Minister of Justice to enter a stipulation to restitute the embezzled money. Nevertheless, a stipulation agreement between the Ministry of Justice and Samuka required him to pay US 500 monthly for the crimes of theft of property, criminal conspiracy, misuse of public money, and money laundering, which led to his conviction along with his two deputies. The agreement means it would have taken Samuka more than 150 years to restitute the US 1 million he was convicted for, along with two others. US 6,000 was the minimum annual sum of the monthly money expected to be paid by Samuka, and after 150 years of consistent payment, he will only reach US 9,000 and still be left with an outstanding balance of US $56,380.30. However, it is unclear of it is unclear of now whether Samuka ever paid US 500 monthly as agreed with the government or not. In a release, the presidency also said that the former government officials were being relieved of their legal obligation to refund to the Liberian government the money that they were convicted of misappropriating while serving in their respective capacities at the national defense. The presidential pardon given to Samuka and $100 in and $100 is back and $100 is backed by the Constitution under Article 59, which states inter alia that the president may remit any public fortitude and penalties, suspend any fines and sentences, grant reprieves and pardons, and restore civil rights after conviction for all public offenses except impeachment. According to the presidency, with the exception of Samuka and his deputy's situation, the rest of the pardon being issued are to individuals who were convicted of committing minor offenses by the courts of Liberia and were serving various prison terms, individuals with life-threatening illness or age, and individuals who served a substantial amount of time for which they were sentenced and demonstrated good behavior while serving their respective sentences. So we move to the next story or the next newspaper. So here we have the New Dawn newspaper. Let's see what the New Dawn newspaper has to offer. New financing to support 900,000 farmers and rural users for economic transformation in Liberia. New financing to support 900,000 farmers and rural users for economic transformation in Liberia. The World Bank Board has approved the second additional financing for the Rural Economic Transformation Project, or RETAP F2, the bank said in a release issued recently. The financing is funded by an International Development Bank, or IDA, credit of US 76 million from its Scale Up window and 9 million grant from the KfW Development Bank to the Liberia Reconstruction Trust Fund. It will scale up work on establishing basic rural connectivity, which is vital to food security, livelihoods, strengthening social illusion, resilience, building and overall competitiveness of Liberia's economy. Rural infrastructure development is critical to unlocking economic growth. The RETAP will assist in the transformation of the agriculture sector, providing farmers with access to markets and financially empowering them to participate in national development, said Georgia Wellen, World Bank country manager for Liberia. The next story on the New Dawn newspaper, Foreign Minister Kenya owes Liberians explanation. Who is saying this? Foreign Minister Foreign Minister Kenya owes Liberians explanations. Let's see who is saying that. Exactly what occurred at the United Nations General Assembly in New York on December 12, 2023 that led President George Weah to reserve Liberia's previous vote against humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza, with extent condemnation, still remains a serious problem, a serious public concern that needs to be addressed by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, D. Marshall Sakeme. Minister Kenya and Liberia's ambassador and permanent resident of the United States, Sarah Safin Fayine, were clearly not in an accord, or so it appears, in reaching a decision on how Liberia should vote in this crucial matter, thus leaving the country to flip-flop, which has sent a bad diplomatic signal demanding more explanation. Still bringing you detail of that story. In rescinding the previous vote, President Weah was enraged and disturbed the Liberian official that voted against war at the General Assembly as wicked because the president said he or she acted unilaterally, further swearing that God will not spare that person's life. They voted wrongly and we will fix it. Our vote will be with the other countries that voted diplomacy and not war. Maybe he was doing it to tarnish my character and government because we are leaving power. But I want to tell him or her that they are wasting time. President Weah added. The president's intervention would have been accepted as normal because he is the chief architect of Liberia's foreign policy and has exclusive right in determining which diplomatic path the country should take. The permanent representative ambassador Sarah Safia Fanians letters Sarah Safia Fania letter from New York to Minister Kenya revealing lack of communication from Monrovia and underscoring a need for thorough review and clarification on how the vote went or should have gone. Draws public concern with unanswered questions that should need to be addressed. No one but Minister Kenya, who is dean of the cabinet, is in the right position to set the record straight as direct emissary of the president on foreign matters. We should do as soon as possible, not only to redeem the image of the nation in New York, but the government and the country as a whole. So we move to the next newspaper. Let's see what the next story here. All right, so let's read the last paragraph on the New Dawn newspaper concerning our Foreign Minister Dimas Akimian needs to apologize or he has an explanation for the Liberian people. But in her letter to Monrovia, Ambassador Fanian clearly highlights that on December 8th, she instructed the deputy permanent representative at the mission to seek Mr. Kimian's guardian to co-sponsor the draft resolution, but received no response. Adding that on 12 December 2023, she again communicated with the minister and the acting foreign minister to confirm their directive on the vote on the resolution, and based on their affirmative response, she eventually instructed the staff to implement the directive or to vote no. The next story on the next story here is the Hot Pepper newspaper. Senator Kung leads reconciliation efforts in Nema. Senator Kung, who is the vice president elect of the Republic of Liberia, is leading a reconciliation effort in Nema. This is what Hot Pepper newspaper is reporting. Hot Pepper newspaper is reporting Senator Kung is leading an effort of reconciliation in Nema. All right, so let's bring an in-depth analysis of this paper. In the spirit of reconciliation and pushing the one member unity agenda, Senator Jeremiah Pankun has begun a reconciliation and appreciation tour across Nimba County after his election as senator in the December 8, 2028 midterm senatorial election. Senator Kung commenced the 15-day county tour on Saturday. All right, so thousands of Nema citizens were seen in a jubilant mood on Saturday at Bella Sokopa around the Bong Nema border to receive their newly elected Senator Jeremiah Bankun. The group comprises of youth. All right, So following his okay, so let's go to front page Africa. On the front page Africa, let's see what we have for the front page Africa. On the front page Africa, the Zambris slammed Royal Air Murak over missing luggage and pool service. The Zambris slammed Air Murak over missing luggage and pool service. Royal Air Murak has come under serious criticism from disenchanted passengers, most of whom are December holiday travelers over poor service. The disenchanted passengers have complained about the slow response of airline employees in recruiting lost luggage, which was delayed by the airline, causing discomfort and inconvenience. Expressing their concerns in a chat room they have opened, the dissatisfied passengers noted that the delays and other poor services resulting from Air Morocco's action have led to the humiliation of passengers and call for the intervention of the Ministry of Transport. One aggrieved passenger who preferred to remain anonymous informed Frontex Africa that the primary issues arose from a lack of communication from Royal Air Morocco employees during the extended delay and writing to formally express my disappointment with the recent experience on a Royal Air Morocco flight scheduled from JFK to CNN Airport on the 14th December 2023. Unfortunately, this journey was marred by a significant delay of 15 hours and 47 minutes, leading to a series of distress events for myself and fellow passengers, the aggrieved passenger pen. Air Morocco's actions further left passengers reportedly disoriented and uninformed, with no clear understanding of the state of the situation or the expected course of action. According to the aggrieved passengers, according to the aggrieved passengers were confirmed. Accordingly, the aggrieved passengers the aggrieved passengers were confined within the aircraft for 4 hours before being permitted to deplane. Furthermore, their wait for luggage retrieval was extended was extended an additional 4 hours, exacerbating an already challenging situation. The uncertainty the aggrieved noted resulted in fatigue, sleeplessness, and overall discomfort for passengers who had already endured a prolonged delay. Simultaneously, the aggrieved mumbled that the subsequent check-in process, lasting an additional 4 hours, further added to the overall ordeal. Upon arrival at CMN Airport, the situation worsened when passengers, including myself, discovered that our luggage was missing. Another passenger concerned with the circumstance asserted. Despite these harsh conditions imposed, Despite these harsh conditions imposed by the airline, the aggrieved maintained that shockingly, no initiative was taken by Royal Air Morale staff to inform them of the whereabouts of their belongings. Accordingly, it was only through the discovery of another passenger's air tag reporting its location at JFK Airport that they realized their luggage had not been transferred. Let's go to the next one. Yeah, let's see what are the hot pepper. Okay, so that is it, folks. That is it right there. And let's see what we can go on the international scene. Let's see what we can get you something there from the international scene. Let's see what we can get you something there from the international scene. VOA. Let's see what we can get something from VOA Africa. Yeah. So So that is it. For the VOA Africa, DRC bans opposition protests against alleged vote irregularities. DRC bans opposition protests against alleged vote irregularities. Kinshasa, the Democratic Republic of Congo's government said Tuesday that it will outlaw an opposition-led demonstration planned for Wednesday to protest alleged irregularity in last week's election. Five opposition presidential candidates informed the governor of Kinshasa in a letter published Saturday of their intention to organize the march. With definitive results still not announced, the government said the protests will be disrupted. Tomorrow's demonstrations are intended to undermine the electoral process. The government of the republic cannot accept this. Interior Minister Peter Kazadi told journalists, "I can assure you that there will be no such march." The opposition leaders who signed the letter include Martin Fayulu, who claimed he won last elections in 2018, and Denis Mukwege, the Nobel Peace Prize winner for his work with victims of wartime sexual violence. They denounced the election as a shame. "We will protest against the irregularities observed during the voting," they wrote. Mosi Katumbi, another presidential candidate and former governor of the Southeast Katanga region, called for the elections to be annulled. Among 44 million voters out of 100 million inhabitants of the massive country were eligible to elect their president, national and regional lawmakers, and municipal councils in last week's Wednesday ballot. Due to numerous logistic problems, the voting was officially extended by a day and even lasted until Christmas Day in some remote areas. So that is it there from the VOA Africa. Death toll in central Nigeria, attacks in the rise of 133, local officials say. Lagos, the death toll in weekend attacks in the central Nigerian state of Plateau has risen to 133. A local government official said on Monday in a region where clashes between herders and farmers were common. It is the worst outbreak of violence in Plateau since May, when more than 100 people were killed in farmer herder attacks. The AFP news agency has cited the Nigerian army on Sunday as saying 16 people were killed in the latest attacks. The acting chairman of Boko's local government area of the Plateau State, Monday, Kassas, said 113 people had been killed in the attacks on Saturday and Sunday. The attacks were well coordinated. Not fewer than 20 different communities were attacked by the bandits, he said. Kassa did not say who was responsible for the attacks. He added that the injury had been taken to hospital. Alright, so let's go to the BBC. Let's see whether we can get something from the BBC this morning. All right. So this is how we like to come to the end of today's edition. All right, so let's bring the last story here from the BBC Africa. Let's bring the last. This is the last story here from the BBC Africa. Let's bring this here for those of you who are watching us via our live Facebook and YouTube page. Niger coup leaders expel France. Niger coup leaders expel French, but not US troops fighting jihadists. Let's see what is going on in Niger. Less than 5 months after Niger's President Mohammed Bazoum was deposed in a coup, former colonial power France is pulling out the last remaining troops it had deployed to the West African state to fight militant Islamists threatening stability across the region. Relations with the Paris are not rock bottom. The French ambassador Sablin departed in September at the military junta's insistence, while the European Union has also been snubbed. The junta led by General Abdurrahman Tasheni has unilaterally scratched the accords their EU specialists have under their EU specialists have for many years trained Niger's security forces. Mr. Bazoum regarded France as a crucial military partner when French troops and other European special forces withdrew from Mali in 2022. He asked them to redeploy into Niger's fragile western border areas plagued by jihadist attacks, where they were operated under Nigerian's command. But after President Emmanuel Macron's vocal commendation of the 26th July coup and his public support for Mr. Bazoum still detained in his presidential residence, Niger's new military rulers opted for a radical change of policy demanding that the French pull out. Most of the 1,500 troops have since left and the remaining 157 will depart by Saturday. The junta has opted to rely on a new defense alliance with neighboring Burkina Faso and Mali. They are also both under military rule and resisting demands, including from the West African regional bloc ECOWAS for a rapid restoration of civilian-led democracy. All right, so that is it there from the BBC Africa News. So wherever you've been watching or wherever you've been watching us from, we'd like to say thank you for watching. We'd like to say thank you for watching today's edition of Inside the Print Media. We have just few days to go to the 2024, which is next year. We have just few days to go rather, not a year, but a few days to go to next year. So let me notify KLM October. He says thanks for the update of the news. Thank you so much for watching. And this is how I would like to say thank you to all of those who've been following us via our live Facebook feed. This is how we like to call it a day. And then on tomorrow, we're going to be here with another fascinating edition of the program inside District number 13. Wherever you've been watching us from, we'd like to say thank you for watching. Please share the video so it can reach to many people as it can. We'd like to also notify Mr. Steny L. Wright. I'm following from New Georgia Township. That is Commissioner Steny L. Wright. All right. So just few days to go to 2024. We hope and pray by the will of the Almighty Allah that we enter the new year, which is next week Monday. We're going to start a new page. So get your pen and paper and put your resolutions down. That the moment you enter 2024, you start to work on them. And before the end of 2024, you ensure that yes, you have executed your resolution has been executed, even if it is not all, but 90 or 80% should be executed. So that is it. I've been here since 10 o'clock. And it is now 11:22. This is how I like to leave you. And the next time you see this face on the camera, I'm going to be on tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Bye bye from my end.